Welcome back and congratulations. You have mastered the 7 life force hacks. Let's do a quick review and make sure that you are in control of all 7. So the first one is the micro slash hack. Did you develop the ability to have immediate awareness anytime any incoming thought or sensory input, could be the words of another person, or just a thought about your past or your future that caused you emotional pain and ticked your life force down? Have you developed the ability to notice that immediately? If so, you mastered hack 1. Hack 2, have you developed the ability to bitch slap away any thought, any inbound thought that hurts your life force, and just immediately neutralize that thought, that unpleasant thought? That's the main thing. Bitch slap the beast. Number 3, have you developed some diversions that reduce the amount of micro slashes and bitch slapping that you have to endure every day? Just find something that takes your mind away from thoughts of the past and worries about the future and keeps you focused on the present moment and reduces the micro slashes. If you did, you mastered hack 3. Hack 4, feeling good-ish. Have you developed the ability to get a little bit of silence when the beast shuts up so that you can insert a thought of your own making, such as appreciation or blessing someone, or actually having some creative idea that's an intent to do something? That was when we broke away from the control of the beast and started to control our own lives. That took us to hack 5, you do you, which was really our most massive hack. As you'll recall, it started out by asking and answering the question, who do I want to be in relation to this? Which is this, what's going on around me? And then we added the 5-year clause so we didn't get in trouble and said, who do I want to be in relation to this 5 years from now? To this marriage, let's say. Who do I want to be in relation to this 5 years from now? What do I need to do to get it on the right path? Then you'll recall, let me know how you're doing on this one, dealing with who? Shit slingers. People who reduce your life force just by being themselves. And what do you do when they attack you in real time? Maybe they don't even know they're doing it, but they're still hurting your life force. What do? You use our 3 techniques. Do you remember what those are? I want to try to remember myself. The first one is dodging. Just let it go right on by, right? The next one is smacking back. And we have the sort of the traditional smack back, which can be kind of rude. Or we have the high road smack back, where you say whatever it takes to maintain your life force, but you try to do it in a way that keeps the channels of communication open. And then the last one, we just get exhausted with some shit slingers. And we're tired of smacking back. We can't dodge anymore. We use the broken record. We just say the same thing over and over. That's not how I see it. Hey, you do you. Or, let's talk about that another time. Or, I'm finished talking about that. I'm finished talking about that. I'm finished talking about that. And then we started thinking about what else happens. Well, people in the foam pit of mayhem with the misfits are trying to throw their monkeys on your back and get you to do things that serve their whims that might reduce your life force. So what do you do about that? You say, not my circus, not my monkey, and move on with your life force intact. Not my circus, not my monkey. So I said, well, if we do all these things, the shit slingers can't get to us, our thoughts can't get to us, we're not going to take these monkeys unless we want them. You might end up feeling a little detached from the mayhem with the misfits in the foam pit of the physical universe. You might say, what am I doing here? This is all, it's irrelevant to me. And you get detached. So how do we stay attached? That was in hack 5. Hack 5 was a big hack. As you recall, we said, well, we're going to control our folly. When we meet our fellow man in the midst of his folly, we're going to control our folly by using the techniques that we talked about. We're going to try to appreciate other people's efforts to control their folly, and we're going to even admire them if we can. As part of that, we decided that we can maybe at least feel amused. If we can't admire other people in the midst of their folly, we can be amused by it. Some way to stay connected while you're controlling your folly. We said if you do this, you might find that you can use reflexive forgiveness instead of judgment. If the beast comes in with a judgmental thought, you bitch slap that away and you say, I forgive that. I forgive that. I forgive that. Because I'm controlling my folly. So that was all hack 5. It was a big hack. If you did it, if you got through the first 5 hacks, I think you're very close to being what? Unfuckwithable. Your life force is up to neutral or very close to neutral, and you can't be knocked off of that by the machinations of the misfits causing mayhem in the foam pit, or the beast trying to attack your life force. So what were we left with? 2 more hacks. Number 6, you recall, dealing with the daily grind. There's so many obligations that we have to maintain our physical body in the physical world, and also that of our family and our pets, that we end up doing a lot of things that we might not really enjoy doing. And we're trying to say, well, can we stop doing some things? Can we simplify our lives? Can we outsource and barter to get somebody else to do some things we don't like? And if we can't, can we reframe it to shift some aspect of it to make it more tolerable? And if things are really bad, we have to go with the nuclear option, which requires what? A plan. Taking time to make, if you don't have time and energy to make a plan, taking the nuclear option is going to lead to nuclear waste. Okay, so we have to have the energy and to be strategic and make a plan and implement it step by step, which we can do now because we can shut the beast up. Okay, that's hack 6, and hack 7, which we just covered, was Chief Body Officer, where you make a commitment to be in charge of your organization, of your 70 trillion cells who are working in your behalf. I don't know how many organ systems you have in the body, 7 or something. These systems that are all running, they're all running for you. So you want to do your part to give your cells and your body the vision, goals, and strategy, and the resources your body needs to carry you through the physical world. And that's hack 7, and you're done. So how are you feeling? Remember when we started, you might have been on the verge of taking your own life. You think, I don't want to be here anymore. Now, did you say, my emotional set point is closer to neutral? Maybe you're happy as a kid running around in Disneyland and well, my work here is done. Or maybe you're closer to neutral and you say, well, what do I do now? And I said, well, that's really up to you, because you get to ask and answer the question, who do I want to be? Now that all the things that are controlling you, were controlling you before, are pushed down and pushed to the side, and you get to envision your life the way you want to live it. And there are a lot of resources. If you're still having some mental issues, you probably have the energy now to do cognitive behavioral therapy or mindfulness. And I'd say go ahead and try those things. In the meantime, maybe get out and control your folly out in the world more than you have been. You have the ability now to cope with the mayhem of the misfits and not be taken in by it and not be crushed by it, because, yeah, you're in the foam pit. And then finally, what if you're still terribly depressed and you said, Mackieman, I spent all this time listening to you about your 7 life hacks and I'm still miserable. I want to kill myself. Well, I'm going to try to talk you out of that in a second, but let me start by saying I think people should be allowed to kill themselves if they want to. We have these taboos in our society. No, you can't kill yourself. Well, guess what? You're in prison. If you can't leave, you're in prison. So this thing about, oh no, you have to have 3 doctors sign off and you blah, 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 blah. I don't think you should tell people what clothes they need to wear. I don't think you should tell them how to wear their hair. I don't think you should even tell them what food they have to eat. And I don't think you should make them date their cousins and dance the polka. People have to have self-determination. So if somebody says, I don't want to live anymore, I think society should say, okay, we're not too happy about that. Maybe we can talk you out of it, but we're not going to tell you what you can and can't do around that topic. Now, having said that, the question is, when we exercise our exit option, who exactly goes where? We talked about two mysteries so far. The first one early on was, where do thoughts come from? We don't know. The second one is, why are we here? We don't know. The third one is, what happens when you die? We don't know. I think there's really sort of three options on that one. The first is, your consciousness ends. Boom! Because it's tied to the body dies, consciousness is over. So annihilation of consciousness, that's one possibility. Number two is, you wake up in the same situation because it's all some sort of simulation we don't understand, and you didn't finish, so you wake up and you're not really dead. That's probably not right, but it could happen. And the third one is, you wake up somewhere else in some other form, which could be better or it could be worse. We don't know. The main thing is, wherever you go, there you are. So if you're going to take your beast in that shitstorm in your head with you, what's the point of leaving and going somewhere else? It's going to be the same show. So that's why we have the life hacks. No matter where we are, we can control our own life force against all attacks in real time. So there's no point leaving. You can win the battle on the ground you're now standing on. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do with the 7 life force hacks. Win the battle against the beast and the shit slingers right here, and you won't have to leave. Okay? Now, some people have said to me, Mackieman, how can you talk about 7 life hacks and controlling your life force and never talk about love? I didn't talk about love for 3 reasons. First of all, love is at the top of the emotional scale. People who are depressed and anxious are at the bottom of the emotional scale. To try to move somebody from depression, anxiety, despair, misery up to love, it's too big a leap. So what I tried to do with the first few hacks is move you a little bit from despair and sadness up to anger so we could bitch slap the beast, because that's a small, huge step, and it starts to get the life force flowing again. Now that you're feeling better, maybe the whole topic of love is something worth exploring. The second reason I didn't really bring it up is because in our society, the whole topic of love gets warped with desire and need. And I think real love is something that is unselfish and actually doesn't want anything. It flows out of you to the other person. And you're not asking for anything from them. It's a gift that you receive that you also give. I really don't know how to generate it on demand, and I couldn't teach you to do it. But I think now you might be a little bit closer, and you might want to read some topics about loving relationships. I think it might be worthwhile for you. The main point I want to leave you with is that I believe that you can overcome attacks to your life force in real time, every minute, and it's not that hard. You can be unfuckwithable, and I hope you are there now. And if not, please review the 7 hacks until you are unfuckwithable. And I hope to talk to you at some point in time, and I hope to meet you and hear your story. Good luck. Bye-bye.